Hey everybody, it's John. I'm here with Terry Johnson from Firearms Legal Protection, and today on John's Briefs, I showed Terry the video of the guy open carrying in Milwaukee. We want to talk about what he did in particular using his gun to hit the guy in the head. So go watch the video. We'll put it up in a card so that you can watch the video, and then let's talk about it. Today's video is brought to us by the generosity of Firearms Legal Protection. Firearms Legal Protection is a legal defense program for lawful gun owners. You win the fight, and they will help you win the fight after the fight for the rest of your life. There's a link in the description for a coupon code for a discount for all active self-protection watchers. So Terry, I'm not sure what's going on in Wisconsin recently, but there's been a lot of interesting cases out of there.
Yeah, it's maybe it's something in the cheese. Who knows?
Right, who knows? But if you go watch the video, it's a CPL holder who is open carrying as a political statement. Guy tries to grab his gun, ends up having a scuffle with him. Now, from a perspective of a firearms trainer, our CPL holder ends up pulling his gun, which I think was maybe okay in that moment because the guy who had tried to take his gun was then approaching him again.
Right.
But then the guy was completely unimpressed with our CPL holder with a gun in his hand.
Right.
From a tactics perspective, guys, you cannot expect a criminal to be impressed with your gun. And you think they'll run off. Maybe they will, but they might not. So he gets frustrated with the guy, and you can see he gets impatient. Guy starts walking off, so he busts him in the back of the head and
Right.
butt strokes him with his pistol. What do you think of that?
I think you mentioned earlier I called him an idiot.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? I mean, what if I don't know where his index finger was at the
Right?
time.
Well, his muzzle's all over the place.
Yeah. But what if his finger was on the trigger, he hit him and he depressed the trigger and now we got a shot,
We've seen that on video. We've seen people get hit in the head with a gun and the gun go off and kill them.
Yeah. I mean, right there was absolutely stupid. I mean, use your hands, use something else if you're going to put your hands on something.
Right.
One of the things, and I know you teach it, the 5 Ds, and what's the first D?
You've got to deflect the barrel, but you got to control that distance too.
Distance.
Yeah, that's that +1.
And here's the interesting thing. Our guy here is closing the distance on him, which puts him, in a, what if the guy would have turned around?
Yeah.
There's so many what ifs that can go there, but it was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Well, and of course, okay, so if you need to put hands on somebody and you feel like now it's a physical fight, like hitting him in the head would you think, put the dang gun away.
Right.
Use another tool.
And he's got a retention holster, as we saw.
Yep.
So it's not an issue of the other guy getting the firearm out of him. But I'm walking behind you, and I'm taking my gun and hitting you in the back of the head. Now, that's just dumb.
Do you think that legally that could be problematic?
Oh, it can have huge problems. Again, depending upon the state. Obviously, your viewers know I'm barred in the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
And I can tell you in Michigan, that would be charged as felony firearm. What's felony firearm? That means you've used a gun in the commission of a crime. Now, in this case, you can say it was, let's call it felonious assault, where you've taken a weapon, you've used it to put someone in fear, you've hit them with that weapon in this case. Under Michigan law, it's generally 1 to 4 years in prison.
Wow.
Now, more likely than not, your first time around, you're probably going to get probation. But Michigan has a little unique clause to this they call felony firearm. What is that? That's when you use a firearm in the commission of a crime. That's a mandatory, no questions asked, 2 years in prison.
Well, and I think some people are going to watch this and say, but wait a minute, the other guy started the fight. But if you look, he's walking away in that moment. So he's attempting to disengage. So now our CPL holder coming up and hitting him in the back of the head is the start of a new fight.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing to me. You've had an argument, the guy's tussled for your gun, and as you said, it looks like our CPL holder wanted to make a statement. And the criminal's like, I don't care what you got to say. He's walking away from you. Where's the threat?
And so guys, why didn't he get charged? Well, he ran into the friendliest district attorney that you'll ever find. But if you go read the news story, he spent 3 days in the hole. They arrested him and left him in jail for 3 days before they decided what they were going to do. And they chose not to charge him.
Which is amazing to me.
Right? Amazing to you. But at the very least, I mean, imagine Your boss goes, hey man, why aren't you at work today? I'm sitting in jail. Why? I hit a guy in the back of the head with a gun. Now, of course,
Maybe he can work remote from jail. Who knows?
dear, would you bring me my laptop? Well, and of course, he spent those 3 days because if you go watch the video, he ended up, guy grabs his wallet and starts running off. And so he shot him in the butt.
Right.
And he said, well, wait a minute. I was worried he would come and find my stuff. I also think he's darn lucky he didn't get charged for shooting that guy in the butt.
And that's, again, I don't understand that one, because when can you use lethal force? We know this is lethal force, and I've said it pretty much on every video when we talk about the use of lethal force. It has to be an imminent fear of death or great bodily harm. If this guy grabbed his wallet and this guy feared he might come do something later on, where's the imminency at that point? It's not there.
So I agree with you. Now, of course, you say, okay, he got away with it. All right, he might have got away with it. But if you're the defense attorney here, and you're going to have to go sit down with the district attorney and, of course, represent your client well and say, hey, wait a minute. No, I'm going to make an argument that you shouldn't charge this guy. I'm going to make an argument that this should be okay. How much do you think that's going to cost him to defend?
Something like this, and I'm not adding the stupid tax onto this one, okay? You're probably looking at somewhere around 50 grand. He used lethal force.
So you're looking at maybe $50,000 to keep from being charged on this one.
Right.
Guys, it's not worth it. I mean, listen, don't get in these kinds of confrontations. We can talk about the fact that he was targeted because he was open carrying. Don't do that. The fact that he drew the firearm, which I'm okay with him drawing the firearm.
Absolutely.
But when the guy starts walking away, let him walk away.
It's over.
It's over. Let it be. The fact that he kept after it is what made this go down. He could be spending tens of thousands of dollars to do this. Don't do it. Now, Terry, I am going to ask one other thing now about this, and I think it's an open question, and I just love your thoughts on this. So let's just say that this man, the CPL holder, was a Firearms Legal Protection member. How's the network going to deal with that? I mean, this is stupid.
It's stupid, but his position is he is using lethal force to protect himself.
Okay.
And we would protect him because he's using lethal force to protect himself.
So even when someone's stupid.
Well, we would start off, let me be very clear. We'd start off saying, yes, we're going to protect you. But as time rolls on and we look at something like this and we can see that he did not use lethal force in the act of protecting himself, we may have to sit down and have a discussion with Mr. Citizen here to say, hey, we need to talk about this, because this is, to me, clear cut that this is not a position that someone can take, that this is
a reasonable
use of lethal force. But again, the key is we're going to send someone out right away to make sure the member's taken care of.
Yeah.
And we're going to go down the road and we find out it's something like this, we'll probably have to have a discussion with them to figure out what they want to do at that point.
So guys, nobody is going to insure your grand stupidity and negligence. Nobody is. Nobody is going to cover you for doing illegal, immoral things. So make sure that as a firearms carrier, as a concealed carry permit holder, you're doing smart things. This, though he necessarily did not get charged, was not a smart thing. So, Terry, thank you for helping us suss out the stupid.